Be my neighbor. Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? My neighbor? I'm glad we're together again.
Yo, what's going on? Good afternoon, good evening, good day. NPC the game live. Gabriel Carbo coming to you live from Taiwan, the Real District 13, Shaolin. And today episode is entitled They Banned Shift. Culture Creation and the Form of Cults. Moon is Scorpio and Alex Jones versus Rothschilds. And we'll read your chart. It's always there for public service message. Good to see you, Jody D. It's been a minute. What's up, Mike? Mike Capone. Always a pleasure. Alexander. What up, fool? My friend. How's it going? Yeah. So they banned shift, right? It was bound to happen. When you don't seem to really give a fuck, karma will come. Karma is just cause and effect, right? You get a dude from the born in the Balkans during the Civil War, religious Civil War. Most of his family dies. This is the origin story of the new 3.0 Val the Impaler. Most of his family dies in the war, the Balkan War in Bosnia, and it moves to Turkey, and then immigrates to the great land of Gotham City, New York City, right? Greatest city in the world. Only to be raised as God's child, God's favorite, really. But then he raises hell everywhere he goes because he's fighting what he considers injustices. So we'll see what's going on with that. Yeah, you like Shift? Yeah, me too. Yeah. What's going on, Crazy Mama? Listening in while I'm what's it that? But hey, NPC. Hey, chat. What's really good? What's really going on? What's really going on? We're trying origin stories tonight, right? This is a cult of personality YouTube. It definitely is, right? It's been like that for a minute, but no one's really aware of that. Well, they are, maybe on a subconscious level, and maybe there are some people who are aware of it about what's really going on here. We're standing on our square today. Should we stand on our square today? Is that the style we're going for, or should we just go boom circle? What a night! What an auspicious night, and this moon in Scorpio. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fresh stream, yes indeed. Fresh and so clean, Mr. Provo. Right. Once again, Provo, thanks for the inspiration to get it back to what's really going on. The positive, high tier content, right? I see Mama with the comment, fuck cult mentality. I heard that. What is a cult? Yeah. Culture. Your culture, right? Provo comment, made by Jim By, myself, and a few other content creators have broached this topic. Yeah. It's a whole new ball game when you start talking about cults. Yeah. I'd like to go into a little bit of metaphysics and how what's happening in the big picture relates to what's going on in the small picture. As above, so below, and so below, as above. Yeah. But you ain't heard it from me. Jody D with the comment, I like genuine people. It can be hard to tell on the interwebs. But eventually people reveal who they are. Absolutely. And we're seeing it right now. right? We're seeing it right now. I see it in the metaphysics of the cult creation. It's literally revolving around the interplay of belief and charisma, Riz, as the youngsters say, and the human need for belonging. Because at its core, a cult forms when a charismatic leader or group creates a shared reality, an echo chamber that draws others into their worldview. This shared reality typically offers meaning and purpose, or a sense of identity, where that member may feel those things are lacking elsewhere because it's easy to be unacknowledged and forgotten about when all you obsess over is not being forgotten about. You literally miss the places where you are acknowledged. It's just maybe not the ideal people or groups that are acknowledging you in your mind. This is a theme that's coming up too this week. This whole being acknowledged and wanting to belong. So there he is right there. The shifty one. The one and only shifts. Fire start, fire stream. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So there's key elements of cult creation that I've been rotating over the last 24 hours in depth, but literally for the last 6 months. No, actually a year and 20 days to be exact. I went deep into the chamber under the metaphysical create your specific tribe act. I meditated and studied about how to bring that about, how to manifest that. And I found that there's key elements of cult and tribal connection creations. This is what I call metaphysics in action. One, you need to be a charismatic leader and practice charismatic leadership, because a figure who captivates others with confidence and compelling ideas or larger than life personality, their energy and convictions create an emotional connection that resonates with the followers. You see that, right? Parasocial social relationship. When we began the broadcast, we played Mr. Rogers' intro. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? What bigger, larger than life personality can be seen through Mr. Rogers with the cloak of being meek and generous and whatnot, which he was, right? A true OG, ahead of his time. Shout out to Pittsburgh. I have to say, um, those charismatic figures that practice charismatic leadership are all over YouTube. And this can be maybe a host of a channel who speaks with authority, seems in the know, and appears relatable or even inspirational. Pauline Slave, Book of Gabriel, sacred ideologies or having a mission is probably the second key component to creation of a cult, because cults often center on a truth or ideology that feels special or hidden, and members feel they've gained exclusive knowledge or insight by joining that group. They're in the know. You're not in the know, right? We know something that you don't know. You're gonna have FOMO, fear of missing out. a good host of a channel a YouTube creator can foster that type of motion by presenting their content as exposing the truth, as revealing hidden knowledge, or breaking the narrative of your mundane life. This makes the audience feel enlightened and loyal because you're actually doing something for them. You're making them feel important. You're giving them a task to engage in, right? And then the third thing that is a highlight and key aspect of cult creation is community and belonging. Because as humans, we crave connection. Cults, or if you want to call them tribes or communities, they provide us with an us versus them dynamic, and it creates a sense of safety and belonging among members who identify as part of that group. And when something chaotic happens, the wagons are circled and you see these alliances and loyalties played out. I see this in the locale of the YouTube panels and comment sections. They become spaces where people bond over shared values and humor, or even grievances they have amongst each other. And in those panels and chats, live chats, there's a type of forming a tight-knit online community right there, you know? And through the reinforcement of these aspects through rituals, right? A ritual is something you practice and do every day. I see the fourth component of cult creations and metaphysics and actions. It's repetition and routine, which deepens loyalty and strengthens it and forges the bond, showing up every day at the same time, same bat channel, to listen to your favorite YouTube personality. Because in traditional cults, this might include chants and rituals or regular meetings, you know? Chants, what's really going on? Rituals, let's engage and dance while we're listening to the intro, queuing up, and get yourself in a loose mood. And then we have our regular meeting, a sermon on the mountain, the digital mountain. And on YouTube, live panels and weekly shows or rituals like sharing, liking, subscribing. Smash the liking button. These function as modern day equivalents to rituals. And regular engagement strengthens the bond between creator and audience, parasocial relationships. And then on top of that, charismatic energy loop or feedback really charges this with a high powered tint that cannot be stopped in your creation of your culture or your community. And that's when the number 5 aspects of metaphysics and actions of creating a cult is seen as followers amplify the leader's message through shared comments or donations. The leader feels more empowered, and this mutual feedback loop strengthens the energy that keeps the cult alive. Right? Because YouTube lives and channels are modern day cults. They are. If they're not, tell me otherwise. What do you think in the chat? You think that YouTube lives and channels are modern day cult, or they can be? What do you think they are? Let me know.
She wanna play games, but that's what I've been made to. I'm a big dog, baby, yeah.
Yeah, not some, but all. I get it for sure. Um, I do see these YouTube panels and channels having all the ingredients that a traditional cult could be uh, manifested with, um, but in a more decentralized digital form. And here's how the minor cult dynamics, I how I can see them with the right set of eyes. I see one that the influencers are leaders, right? And YouTube creators are often seen as thought leaders or gurus wielding significant power or influence over their audience, and their charismatic authority can create intense loyalty with followers who defend them fiercely when the shit hits the fan. They become echo chambers in the on the panels as well as in the discords, which are the modern day citadels of the cult. Panels often features like-minded individuals who reinforce each other's beliefs, and this creates a bubble where dissenting views are discouraged, which strengthens the whole us versus them mentality. And then you throw in the truth narratives, quote quote, the truth narratives, which many YouTube communities thrive on presenting themselves as rebels against mainstream narratives, the truther movement, and they position their content as hidden knowledge, and this makes their audience feel like they're part of an exclusive of group. And then don't get it twisted. When that monetization is dropped on the channel, the monetization of devotation and devotion, and through the super chats, Patreons, buy me a coffee, merchandise, super stickers, creators financially benefit from their audience's loyalty, and then the followers willingly contribute, believing that they're supporting something bigger than themselves, as well as getting their name out as the most devoted devotee on a super chat, for example. And the cancel culture is even in this space can be seen as a punishment, because just as traditional cults ostracize those who challenge the group, YouTube communities often cancel or mob dissenting voices, ensuring people conforming and extreme loyalty, right? Why does this happen? Why does this happen? Like Crazy Mama was saying, it doesn't happen all the time, but why do you think it happens so much? People are up for that. They blindly look at these things and they just accept it. Shout out to the twin Shadow Buddha, the producer. Wouldn't be possible. This all wouldn't be possible. Shadow Buddha was a comment. I want to argue that most people who are always, and I mean always, on panel for hours and hours are using YouTube as a form of escapism from reality and their responsibility in their own real life, right? Damn, it's fire. That's fire. Yeah, that is fire.
Bam! Just like that. That's all there is to it, Dustin. That's all there is. Just like that. That's all there is to it, Dustin. That's all there is to it. A winner. Just like that. We'll be right back with our Price is Right. Don't go away. Bam!
Does he get two? Yeah, he gets 1.5 for that comment. That was pretty base, as we say. Base. Alexander, Crazy Mama, I like how you think. Yeah. Not all, but yes, blindly. The link is in the chat right now. And he says, she says, let's be honest, it's the subs that encourage bad behavior by blindly following. Yeah, it's the subs. They do they do definitely encourage it. It's showing improving. It's a social proof that the other subs see and they emulate that behavior, right? However, I like to say that it goes from the top down. Whether they know it or not, the host yields a lot of power, when you see people throwing themselves under the bus and being that speed bump or barbed wire for an oncoming assault from the ops, the host knows what's going on sometimes. And if they don't, I mean, it's still happening. The chat gets left out, but I blame them just as much. Yeah, we can blame them. Lately, I haven't been blaming things, me personally. I'd rather just be aware of those things, because in the end, it does, like you're saying too, it relies on the individual person. It's a choice. This is all a choice. This is all a choice. Alexander says, I don't blindly follow, but I think people are free to spend their time however they want. Oh, of course they are. They're free to be you and me, right? They're free to be who they are. That's one of the things we do here, for the most part, unless you're a evil bastard doing nasty work. We accept you for who you are over here on NPC The Game Live. The chat usually is way different than the conversations on the panel. With busier chats. Definitely it is. So why does this happen? I see shifts. Why does this happen, you know? All good reasons, right? Because I know humans are wired to seek meaning and guidance and connection. And in this digital age, the age of Aquarius, the age of knowing, the stream of consciousness, the unification of opposites, where there's a lot of loneliness and identity crises that are uncommon commonalities among us. And YouTube creators offer an accessible escape, a place to belong, a shared purpose, and a leader to follow. I know people say I'm a follower and all this, but let's be real. That's rare. It does happen. There are exceptions to it, but most people want to be told what to do. And the metaphysics of cult creation shows how easy these dynamics can emerge, even unintentionally. When people gather around a compelling idea or personality, there's no telling what might happen. Because in essence, modern YouTube panels and channels can mimic cult dynamics because they tap into the same human desire for belonging, meaning, and direction. These are digital tribes, folks, where the metaphysical energy of shared beliefs fuels their growth and cohesion in real time. Comment from Provo, monologuer of the year, tarot reader of the year, cool dude of the year. A panel host is definitely a breed of content creation. Many operate from a mechanical and tyrannical position, herding and controlling the gestures they bring on panels to create their content. It's like, you're right, it's a bunch of DMT elves that are being wrangled up to perform their technology and entertainment, taming your energy, your inner God. What's going on, God? What's up, Shift? How's it going, bro?
Yo, what's good, man?
I'm chilling.
Fire start, fire stream. These are the topics that I love, the dark side and the lights. Which one are you going to choose? Are you going to be the charismatic leader? Are you going to be that tyrannical, cult-like destruction, going to other universes and destroying other panels?
Yeah, what's it going to be? It's on you. It's an individual choice. Right?
Yes. And I say, it really depends on your goal. If your goal is to gain a following, and you want to attack in a target audience, and you have a better, say or opinion or like way of life, then that's what that dark side energy brings out, kind of rebel energy, where you're just broadcasting somebody else's content and you're critiquing it down to the core. You're offering something to the viewer of how they're fucking up and how you're going to offer a better solution.
Right.
But yeah.
Do you think you can be a good community leader or tribe leader or even cult leader if you do give up your faults that you're trying to grow from and learn from, be vulnerable, I guess sometimes.
I think it's fine to be vulnerable to the people that are deserve to be in your group, right? The ones that you trust and you vetted, because it's all about selection criteria. Not everyone deserves. I said this on a video. Not every, people can get a glimpse of your sun, like a glimpse of it, but not, but given the full radiance of the sun to them, when they don't, when 95% of them don't deserve it, that's what I see in various panels is giving people that don't deserve it, like so much airtime, when reality kind of waters down what could be a more powerful message.
Right. Like, I see this right here with the Shadow Buddha comment, what you're saying. He says, at NPC, in your opinion, is it ironic that most in the panelverse are critical of therapy. However, these people who are venting on panels on a daily basis for hours can be seen as in being in therapy.
Or they're just, like I say, there's some what I call Sith Lords where they're sociopathic. They love power and control, and they have the impulsive. Like every time they attack someone, they get a sense of power. Like they're and it is what it is. That's how
you felt like that before.
When I was I think the reason why I got banned, it was because I was testing my dark side, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I had a 15,000 sub channel make comments and videos about me. I had another cult attacking me, which is hilarious. And even in my analytics, I had one day where I had 500 dislikes. It was just amazing. I was like,
500.
I was just like, this is amazing. I was just like, because the way I see,
Jesse Lee Peterson.
because when you get the same amount of hate, you're gonna be like some other people, like, hey, what's going on with this guy? It's kind of like a caveat, right? You could use that attention, and you could attract the people that you want to attract. But it is a very Sith-like move, like yeah.
Because the Sith Lord deals in absolutes. I've been in those chambers.
Yep.
I've been absolutist and whatnot, and it's easy to actually to live your life by that. In terms, but however, it's hard to deal with people who aren't in that same modality or cult, because they're lukewarm. When you're an absolutist, everyone else is lukewarm if they're not up to looking at life like that.
That's why I've been just making videos, because it kind of allows me to speak what I want to speak, and it separates myself from the live stream, because I feel I could. It's about my message. It's about my code, and I learned from my ways where I just want to inspire. And when you're the leader of a panel of a channel, you have the magnitude with your words. Your words do matter, and when you understand kind of like the Sith code, the 33 codes, it's tremendous power, because you feel powerful every time. You can't fucking sleep.
Yeah, and that could be seen as a boost to your energy. We're talking about Mars and Leo, how certain things. I can see how people worshiping you or just giving you acclaim, nonstop glazing could really fuel your energy, your vitality if you're in that mode. Here's a comment from Provo. He says, and from what I've seen, many people who join panels don't create content. They just want to socialize. Similar thoughts to what Shadow Buddha shared about. Yeah. Just want to socialize a lot of people.
Well, the ones that have your support, that are very active and they've been loyal, then it's okay to give them preferential treatment, because they've been through it all and they like you. They like your content. So the ones that are like, I'll give an example, like Jack Telcott. Nothing against Jack Telcott. I like the guy. But when you give, characters other characters that really, really hate you, time, it kind of, in my eyes, it's like, it's very peasant-like. So, as my Sith side is telling me, it's very peasant-like to give these type of people airtime, and it's kind of also lazy because it's distracting from your message, your core tenet, your ability to actually bond with the people that will actually give you tremendous support.
Yeah, it's getting. They're getting in the way of that glazing. Worship. Shout out to KJV, London, man. Lay low, brother. How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend.
Even the various haters that you've been, they've been. I've been analyzing this very briefly, and
Yes.
The Queen. I mean, he's doing some various cult dynamics. It's just hilarious.
Big sister, the semen demon.
And it's like, it's just
Shout out to
comical.
London, man.
And it goes to show you a lot of it is no matter how bad you do things, no matter how annoying you are, no matter how disgusting your content could be, if you show consistency, that's a superpower, because a lot of people in their lives that don't have any consistency of what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Shout out to Leopard Print. Much love to the sweetest person in the panelverse. What's going on? To Provo was a comment on building on what you're saying, Shifty One. Talk Hot figured out that conflict content brings his views and viewers. Yeah, he figured it out. Is it sustainable though? Maybe not for me and you. I don't know. For you, could that be sustainable?
I viewed it as very peasant-like, because these people don't support him. They laugh at him, and they don't give anything in return for your time. And you get harassed. You get treated like dog shit. And
It's like simping.
It's
Simping,
yeah,
then.
yeah. It's
You're not
it's
getting
a
a return on your work.
hard work, and it's like, why deal with these people that are a waste of a carbon footprint?
Yeah, maybe because that he's had other modalities going on. Like, he's training himself. He's getting bombarded by enemies left and right, so he can be strong. So, in that sense, I can see that why you would do that. Shout out to London, man, in the house. What's going on? Lay low.
Lay low.
KG, how's it going?
Yeah,
How's it going, bro?
all good over
What's your
here.
thoughts, London? We got you on red. You threw you in the fire. You know a lot about this Talcadian dynamic. What do you think about it? About putting yourself amongst all your enemies and ops constantly every day.
Oh Lord, that is
He said, "Oh,
yeah, that right there, that is a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't do that in real life. You think I'd go around my enemies in real life and sit down and invite them around me in real life?
Exactly.
yeah,
It's like, just think of it. Back in the ancient days, would Alexander the Great be sitting around with the Persian kings and sipping tea? No, he chopped their fucking head off. It's my land. Get the fuck out of here.
yeah."
It's a fact.
Well, like I said, though, that means he's doing something different. I mean, I'll give him the benefit of a doubt that, like, he's trying to get other things out of that, his relationship with those people, be it harsh or whatever. Well, the only way to do is to ask him. I think I have asked him before, and I think it's like what I said about he's trying to strengthen himself, maybe build his character or whatnot. But yeah,
And
takes a licking and keeps ticking.
the positive aspects of it, which I give Jack credit. He's very consistent in his tenacity. But at the end of the day, time is a very precious commodity. All right. And you don't want to waste it on people that are not giving you a rate of return. And that's kind of like the sociopathic tendency of me. Like, I'll admit, like, I have some sociopathic tendencies. I think I have some dark side forces in me. But what separates me is, like, I like what I don't like, and I'm very honest with people. So,
Yeah.
like, if you cross me, well, it's not going to be a pleasant day for you. So,
Yeah, it's not. And like this goes on to the third segment, Moon in Scorpio. It's the Moon in Scorpio right now, and whatever the moon is, we can say is the vibe of the planet. And those of us who have that scorpionic energy or are literally moons in Scorpio, like you and myself, we come across as looking cool when the moon's in your sign because you're used to that energy. And what you're saying is, I don't know if we could do what he does because, I mean, we are at Scorpio moons. We love intensely. We have passion and emotional depth because we're seeking transformation. Maybe that's how we could do it because Scorpio moons, we want extreme transformation, and what better way to transform than go against your ops? You know what I mean? Because you kind of see what you're made of.
it's
You know?
it's like the old the first line of the Sith code. Peace is a lie. There's only passion, and that's what the Scorpio moon is. Passion. It's like almost like there was one astrologer who said it one time. He said the Scorpio moon is the devil. The guy would walk in the room, and the other person would feel that person how cold this guy is. Just by turning his head. He's like, "What the fuck did this person do to this other one?" And that's how they operate.
Right. What's up, Resla? How's it going, brother? Yeah. Sub up to Resla's channel and KJV's and Shifty too. You have a channel as well, right?
Yep, it's my handle is Shift, the one and only, and basically I inspired us to I talk about various quotes, various my experiences with cold formations and markets. I'm being trained by one Jedi right now, and it's at the end of the day. I don't mind being a follower to that guy, what I consider a legend, because the results speak for themselves. Oh yeah. But the thing is, he's been banned. I mean, so when I get banned, it's kind of like I'm following the footsteps.
Yeah. London man, why are you so passionate about creating content? Because you just did your movie. It's not your first movie. You're constantly live streaming. You're doing your series. Like, what makes you so passionate about creating on YouTube and researching?
I would say I'm trying to break the loop of mankind. Right. I think we've been fed a false narrative, and the narrative's been wrong. And whenever I jump online and I observe what's going on, especially within the truth community, the stuff that I look into, there's a lot of looping, and I feel like it's a part of the program that we should be breaking. That they want us kept in the loop, So
Right.
that's why I try to present new stuff every time I go online. I don't try to present the same old stuff that everyone else is presenting.
Right. It is different, man. It's like, and it goes along with the teachings I've already heard, and then our learning as well, because your whole moon, Earth as moon, right? I literally hear that in the teachings of Master Farad Muhammad and also the Pakistani people. A lot of them believe that, like there was the Earth was part of the moon was part of the Earth, and at some point it got blown apart, and then I'm not saying that's what you're coming, what you're presenting, but there is something to be said about like where are we living, where are we living? It's like it's not where we think it is. Maybe. Shout out to Mike. Where'd you go? Oh, Mike. Did I remove you? I'm sorry. Come back. I meant to bring you up real quick. Okay. Did you leave, Mike? Come back up. All right. I put London backstage. I got too excited talking about the moon and Earth. Were you going to say something, London, about that?
No, well, you pretty much bang on with the devastation of the moon. I have heard that before with Allah splitting the moon, and when you bring destruction, when you split something, fragments go all over the place. So we could be like lost in space, so to speak, So.
Yeah, and if you don't know where you are, that could be a source of a lot of the misdirection in one's life. You don't even know where you're starting from, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, Shiv, when did you feel like you started getting together your life?
I gotta say, as it's very surreal and personal, but I gotta say, after seeing my grandmother's death, I was just like, I had to like change certain things because I was caught in this like kind of like loop of despair, you know, and also with the sickness, because I worked in a hospital, so I saw a lot of death that caused a lot of like the damage to see that,
Yeah.
and then after that, I was just like, I'm always hungry to improve, and sometimes life just hits you like that, where it's just like, it's okay to feel sometimes like you're not, in the depths of despair, like nothing's going by correctly. You may be just getting through the motions. There's no passion, there's no joy. And then, I delved into research of, I believe heavily, like I think as a guy, I did the most extreme example. I brainwashed myself. I made my own code of religion. And when I say religion, I mean religion of myself, or what I like, I don't like, and my philosophy, and I refined it. And
Because that's what a religion is your philosophy of life.
yes,
We could say that, yeah.
yeah, the foundations of religion. That's why religion is probably the best business in the entire fucking world. It lasts for thousands of years. So why not use I'm not, the mainstream religions. I mean, this capture the tenets. They always talk about certain things, and then you could just talk about those on your live streams, and that makes you unique because you can't fake it because you're talking about your experiences
Your
as
life,
a human.
yeah, you're talking about your life, right?
Yeah.
What better ways for people to find uncommon commonalities? What's going on, Mike, with the golden radio voice? What's going on, bro?
NPC, hello, hi, how are you?
Look at that.
Hey, I'm out here.
Look at that, man.
I'm out here in Paducah, Kentucky, ladies and gentlemen. I had some issues with my microphone, and then I don't know if are my settings okay?
Yeah, this guy's clowning. He sounds great, man.
Good.
Golden.
Good. Thank you so much, sir. I was listening. I'm actually the one that I disconnected on accident. That was my fault. And
Okay.
but I'm glad that you brought me back up on here just now, and I'm going to shut the fuck up real quick. And yeah, I don't want to
Well,
derail anything.
No, before you know, that's the whole thing. That's what we at least me, like I love the fact that folks come up here and share, but I don't want you just to shut the fuck up completely and
Thank
just
you.
like just hang out and squat, as my grandma used to say, rest in peace, because you have a really good takes on what we're talking about, right? Because I want to hear your ideas. And then speaking in that, Mike, when did you feel like you started to get together in your life? Like was there an aha moment, or is that something that's happening constantly? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Can you clarify? Can you elaborate just a little bit? I'm really high right now.
Maybe it's right now. Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that?
No, you have to leave, man. No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You're high on life, right?
I'm high on life. I'm
Yeah,
absolutely high.
yeah. That's the name of the strand, the sativa, high on life. No, I'm saying, like, when did you start to feel like you started to understand what was going on in life?
Oh.
That was there a
still
pivotal
don't.
moment?
I still don't.
You still don't.
I have
Yeah.
no idea. I have no idea what's going on, and every single day it seems to be like a WTF. But yeah, I definitely have no idea what's
You
going
don't.
on.
Yeah. Could you say, like, real quick, like viscerally, what's your philosophy on life?
My philosophy on life is to. Oh man, wow.
It's a good one, huh?
Wow. Well, okay. Now, if you knew just how much I had been thinking about this prior to even coming to your channel today, it would blow your mind as well as the listener. I'm sure. I'm certain. Wow. It cannot be to simply live and go to work every single day and just exist. There has to be more to it. Are we going in that vein right now? Are we going that way?
I have been. I have been. This is why I actually feel alive, because this is the first time in 6 months where I've had like multiple days off, you know,
You've
which
had
is just
time
was
to you've had time to
reflective.
recharge, to reflect and
Yeah,
recharge on recharge your own life battery. Everybody needs to do
absolutely.
that in
Yeah.
some form or fashion. And I read in the chat not too long ago, somebody had mentioned that being on a panel and I guess seeking out this form of entertainment would be somewhat therapeutic or
Hmm.
anti therapeutic.
Hmm.
But if you are there's a lot of people out there that say that we have no free will. So that means that I'm here because somebody or something put me here. But the meaning of life, I believe it is just to figure out how to advance to the next level of life,
Hmm.
whatever that is.
Hmm.
But it cannot be, excuse me, it cannot be just to just get up and go to work and have a family. It has to be so much more than that here. And NPC, I do apologize if I'm derailing. I have enough THC in me to kill an elephant.
Well, that's what you have some for me. I hope I need some at the moment. So yeah, we have enough for both of us. It's all good. Now that was deep, man. It was not only deep, but it made it real. Because a lot of times we get on these highfalutin ideas, but we can't bring them down to reality, the earth plane, you know. And I like how you did that right there, you know.
And that's a very deep and profound question that, and I would answer like, what gets you up in the morning? And every man has a different answer. So that requires contemplation. Every man has to do it for themselves.
Right.
And that, like I say, yeah, there's more than life than just work and like a job or whatever. Sure, maybe your job could be your calling or whatever. But I felt
Hmm.
the same way. What is the next step? What is, you obtain all this knowledge, right? But I felt it. If you obtain certain knowledge, I would share it, but only to people that deserve it, right? Because at the end of the day, right, there's a lot of people that are stuck in the allegory of the cave, in Plato, right? They want to look at their shadow. They don't want to see the sun. And if you show too much sun, too much radiance, they're gonna hate you. They're like, "Why are you waking me up,
Hmm.
motherfucker? Why are you waking me up?" And that's a
Yeah.
huge mistake I see.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like waking somebody up. Like they set their alarm for 10 a.m. and you wake them up at 9 a.m. It's like, damn, I'm trying to sleep, even though you're up and you want to have fun. You mean well. I can see why they want to get pissed off. Yeah, but with that said, though, I think sometimes though that person in the cave, maybe they deserve it too. Maybe they deserve the knowledge too. It's just they might not say that, and a lot of times we get in the way of our own evolution of consciousness. So my thing is like put it out there, and if they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. You know. But my purpose that keeps me busy is to put it out there. You know. So that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah, but
Like,
then I mean, I hear what you're saying there. Sorry to cut you, but
no, go ahead, bro.
when they say sometimes knowledge can be wrong in the person's knowledge can be harmful in the wrong person's hand, right?
Right.
Some people don't deserve that knowledge.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they should be left in the cave, like Big Sister and these folks. I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
saying them exactly, but people like, on that type of spectrum, like leave them in the cave all day long. Lock
No,
them up.
that's a good point, London, because I was like when I was walking the dogs last night,
Hmm.
I was thinking like everyone I see, everyone in our community, it's like a sitcom, right? And I was trying to overlay it in sitcom because I was raised by the TV. I'm an 80s baby, 90s baby, right? And I'm thinking like it's Big Sister Steven would definitely be a villain, right? But even villains like Megatron, and what's his name, Cobra Commander, they could be Skeletor. You can at least talk to them sometimes, right? Even though they're evil, right? Whereas the Big Sister dude, he doesn't know how to play.
Mm.
And I think you're right, London, because you answered my question. It's like, is it worth it? No, it's not, because they're just awful. But is that a projection of some of the awfulness that's still inside of us that we need to detox from. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll go away once we get that devil, so-called devil, off our back. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Because he was playing my whole stream yesterday, right? Shift, you showed me. He just played the whole shit, talked shit, and just left it and took his fat ass to sleep.
It's because he's just fishing for attention, but at the end of the day, it's like you just have to laugh at it. And he calls himself, in a way, he's doing what a weak Sith Lord would do. Call himself a king in the land of Pompers, and he's wasting his energy. I mean, he's a fat piece of shit.
Speaking of fat pieces of shit, I mean, I love this dude, this Alex Jones, but a lot of people would call him a fat piece of shit. Here's some funny things that I wanted to show you guys about cult creation. In this case, this is a climate change, basically a climate change debate. That oh shit, I said climate change. I'm gonna get in trouble now. Fuck, damn it! What am I doing? But anyway, listen to this. This is interesting. Alex Jones versus Lord Rothschild, right? Maybe about 15 years ago.
We are scheduled to have the heir to one of the biggest fortunes on earth in banking coming up later in this hour. David Mayer de Rothschild. And he is, of course, born in 1978, a British adventurer, an environmentalist who is the head of the Adventure Ecology and Expedition Group, raising a...
Imagine if someone's like, hey, London man, what do you do for a living? I'm an adventurer. I'm an adventurer. Must be nice, right?
Mm-hmm. And that right there, that is the meaning of life right there. That is right there.
Yeah,
right there.
He's winning, right?
That is absolutely the meaning of life right there.
Yeah. He's winning.
When you're born into royalty, you can just do whatever the fuck you want. Like a spoiled brat,
About climate change.
Exactly.
He is the youngest of the three children of Sir Evelyn de Rothschild of the Rothschild banking family of England. So we are lined up to try to get him on the show. He's all over the press. It's saving the earth. It's just, imagine, out of the gate, saving the earth with, of course, global taxation and new regulatory plans for one-child policies. We're really blessed to have people like Lord Rothschild's son out there saving the earth, and we're lined up to have him pop in later in the show.
I think,
then... Question, let me keep putting these...
systems and weather
effects. One of the arrows shooting out across the planet, invigorating everything. Mr. Rothschild, thank you for coming on the show with us today.
Thank you for having me on the show. That's quite an introduction there. Thank you.
Well, you bet. Now, tell us why you, one of the young, vibrant heirs of one of the main arms of the Rothschild family, the house, is embarking on this selfless mission to save the earth?
It's a good question. I mean, I think for me it's about saying, this is the only issue that we should be contending with right now, because we only have one planet. This is our house. And without that, then all the other rooms in our house, which may be poverty or disease or conflict or whatever it may be, then we don't have those, because without a house, you have no rooms. And so I think for me, it's just, I realized I was involved in an expedition to cross Antarctica 4 years ago. I followed the same route that Roald Amundsen did to the South Pole, and then I kited across the continent. And during my 3 months on this Arctic landscape, I realized that, we were having a huge effect on our fragile ecosystems as human beings, but also that it was us who was vulnerable should these systems collapse. It was our ability to live on this planet as we know it. So that's why I dedicated myself to making sure we get this issue out there.
Okay.
Now, I've got a new poll out here. The Maury poll shows that most people in the UK remain unconvinced about warnings that our climate is being affected by global warming. What is the science that proving that man-made global warming, A, is real, and B, will cause cataclysmic problems?
Hey, London man, you're in the UK. Do you think most people in London believe, or in England believe, that climate change is a big problem?
To be honest, I don't hear it get discussed that much. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it in something that the schools taught you? Because you're younger than me. I know they
Yeah.
didn't teach that when I was in school.
No. I only heard about that through the news and things like this.
Yeah.
It's.
But I
I
think
think it's more of a scare tactic, that climate change stuff.
yeah, but I think that it is. But I think they do teach it in the schools now. 'Cause I've
Okay.
heard some of my students talk about it, and I know they're not watching CNN and all that. So
Yeah,
yeah. What do you guys think?
they've been pushing this narrative for like decades. It was like global warming, now climate change. It all started with Al Gore and shit. It's like a way to kind of, for
Chaser.
corporations to, do this nonsense to get more money, like to, with lithium mining and the electric car bullshit. It's kind of like leading to a system where they want to do like carbon credits or something like that.
Yeah, carbon. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Al Gore was the big one when he had that An Inconvenient Truth documentary that won a Academy Award. He was pushing that South Park was even making fun of him. They referred to his climate change agenda as a mythological creature called Man Bear Pig. It's not real. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Either way, it's just like ridiculous because right now in like the Northeast, it's fucking cold, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like Florida is snowing and shit, and people climate change. Oh my god, the Earth is melting. Bullshit.
Well, I think AJ is going to talk about that in a second, like about how the Earth does naturally go through cycles of extreme cold and extreme heat and whatnot. So we'll see. Here's a comment from Goblin. He said, "It still amazes me folks believe Alex Jones is actually Alex Jones. Eyes to see, yawn. AJ is a comedian from the 80s placed in the gatekeeping. ODD reality. Did a video about Jones being Hicks? Yeah, I've heard about people say that he's Bill Hicks and whatnot, and he jokes.
Oh, you cut out there.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Here's the thing: we can all say everyone in this panel is pretty intelligent. I have to say, we all know that Alex Jones most likely is controlled opposition, right?
Yep.
However, let's not acknowledge the fact that he red pilled millions of us. People may not like him and whatnot. I think he's that, but he definitely was sharing some truths that a lot of people build their own cults with of truth. So yeah, he might be all that, but he's definitely, for me personally, he's an OG in terms of radio. Him and Stern and some other couple, Rush Limbaugh, couple other people, right? Now, are those people I mentioned good people necessarily? Maybe not, but they're definitely legends on the radio. You know what I'm saying? So I like Alex Jones. I think he's interesting. And so let's keep listening. Unless you guys have some thoughts on AJ.
I mean,
oh, okay.
yeah, to me, he's definitely controlled opposition, but he's funny as fuck. I mean, he said the frogs are turning gay and shit.
Right.
That classic.
Right. I said Goblin, my bad. Ragamuffin Vision. Good to see you, fam. Yeah. That's your new nickname shift. I mean, this was affection. I'm going to call you Devil because you can be a terror out there. I'm going to call you Devil from time to time. I'll bring you up. I'm bringing up the Devil from the from the mod waiting room, right?
I love nothing more, man. Sometimes, when I banned like 400 trolls on my channel. It's like it's amazing, bro.
That's crazy, huh, London?
That's
banning 400 trolls.
You
said 400?
Big sister numbers. That's big sister numbers right there.
Jesus.
And you should have seen me in London. I said I'm gonna, another head on a pike, another troll's head on a pike. It's like I was putting troll numbers on my screen and shit, and just laughing at them, fucking just ridiculing them. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Uncle Fatty with the climate and weather are two separate things. Yeah. Okay. Expand, please, sir. Mr. Mike in Kentucky. How's the weather over there in Kentucky, or the climate?
right now we are dealing with 30 degrees Fahrenheit here in Paducah, Kentucky at 5:13 p.m. where I am. Last night it was down to a low of 4 degrees.
Wow. I don't even know what to do with that, man.
Mike,
California boy.
Mike, you got a radio host
know,
voice,
bro.
man. You could easily make a channel, bro. Easily.
That's thank you. I will say thank you. And I was listening to the first half of NPC's show tonight, and when you guys were talking about that kind of stuff, like,
Yeah.
and I was listening. I was really listening because I've thought about it, but I don't think anybody would listen to me talk for like more than like 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, I guess I'm nobody because I probably would just off the voice
I
alone.
disagree.
Just with the voice alone. Man. Plus, he's pretty smart. Yeah, so go ahead. Go ahead,
Thank
London.
you.
Expand, please, sir.
There's a lady that normally comes over to my sector. Her name's Smoking in G Sharp. She got the same type of voice. When she hits my panel, everybody says the exact same thing. She's got the soothing voice. She's got like a radio voice. And I think that type of voice is very far and wide. Not many people have that voice. So when someone actually says you've got that voice, you better hold on to that. Trust me.
Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Yeah, don't underestimate yourself. Don't do that. We all started somewhere, and you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed how much you share about your life, and people actually they love it. You know, they feel a sense of belonging. And with your voice, man, you could easily do it. Easily.
This is how we discovered. If I was a producer, I discovered the.
Hey,
Oh, man.
that brought back memories. I remember those.
Remember that one?
I remember
Yeah.
those jingles in the morning, man. That was hilarious.
They would go on and on, huh?
Yeah.
That's why I gotta get this OBS and get this soundboard where I can just drop all of them all at once. Yeah, yeah. Mike, you're good, bro. You're good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
When you were playing that, and I was like, okay, where's the part? Because I'm seeing some really
Exactly.
weird ass shit, like the
Yeah.
weenie and the butt thing, and I'm like, okay, where does this mic?
That's why I kept talking. I'm like, I don't want Mike to think that I'm saying he's a butt.
Actually looking around inside my home at random things that I own here, just going, what the hell's going on right now? What the fuck is going on?
It's pretty trippy. Yeah.
Looking to my Rubik's Cube for answers. Like, what is the mic part coming up here? Because I'm seeing a bunch of weird shit going on.
Yeah. we finally got it. We finally got there, man.
I've always wanted to
shit.
do that. I've always wanted to do like, well, not always, but I mean, the radio thing. Yeah, streaming would probably be more ideal. You know, like okay, what I'm gonna say is like I've wanted to do like a radio thing, like at an actual station. But I think that I would get shut down with, you know, I know I would fuck up. Something would happen. I would say the wrong thing. Like you know what, like the wrong
it's easy to do that.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and then following like the format. So like doing like something on YouTube or whatever. Yeah, maybe like co-hosting or something like that. And then later on down the line, you know, doing something completely like different or whatever. But yeah,
because we'll be able to do what we're doing because of people like Stern. He pushed the envelope when he
Absolutely.
went like, and then finally the radio, what FCC, they were like, screw you. And then when he got the satellite radio, and which kind of led to what we're doing here. Even though he makes fun of, he has a history of making fun of YouTubers and podcasters and stuff, but I think that was in the beginning of it, and he didn't see the potential and how people are like killing it. Yeah, but the radio it's a dinosaur. However, that dinosaur like raised a lot of us it was like soundtrack to our life, like the morning radio, you know, going to school and stuff like that. You know?
We had 10-10 wins live. 10-10 wins. The weather, music, sports. In 10
I have a
minutes.
good voice too.
if you guys know, like, so like that voice is, I do that when I'm just, this is what I normally sound like. But so like, if you guys knew, or so if you guys knew anybody that wanted a co-host or anything like that, and it could be whoever, wherever, just holler at me. Figure out a way to get a hold of me somehow. Like I'm here. Yeah.
You hear that, people? Mike is offering his services as co-host. Okay?
I am offering
It's
my
out there.
services.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Winning.
I think there's the report you really need to be looking at was a report that was released at the beginning of the year by the IPCC, which is
talking about the evidence of climate
Panel on
change.
Climate change. It's made up of 2,500 scientists from around the world, all in the field of climatic studies. These are the brains, basically. These are the guys who have been looking at this stuff for a very long time. They come together, they put this report together, and there was a unanimous decision made and put across in this report.
Now, Mr. Rothschild, a whole bunch of people, hundreds of them, have gone public saying that they were included and asked their opinion in research, but that many of them never said that they agreed with man-made global warming or its causative effects.
I think that if you read the report, they actually do. They come out and they say.
No, they say their names were added falsely to that report. Are you aware of that global controversy? It's been in hundreds of newspapers.
I think the fact of the matter is that this type of
Someone's kind of breathing harder than Mike. You're sounding like me.
It's just is a waste of time. I mean, the fact of the matter is we've got one planet. We're not doing, all our systems are in degradation. We can argue about who's causing what, but there's no denying that our systems are shifting. I mean, look at your country right now. You've got floods in Texas. You've got 126 degrees in Arizona. You've got fires. You've got systems in England. We've had a sixth of our annual rainfall in 24 hours.
Well, there's always, hold on, I've read quite a few history books, even back at the time of Waterloo. When your family was so active, we've got all sorts.
Did you see that diss right there? He said even the times of Waterloo when your family was so active. And now the active he's talking about is talking about mischief, right? In the banking. Manipulating things, right?
He's attacking basically the legacy that triggers people a lot. Yeah.
That's the war, right? The war of Waterloo you're talking about.
Well, exactly, the French. Yes.
With
Because
Napoleon
they
versus
manipulated it.
with Napoleon versus the England. Yeah.
Because the Rothschilds were playing both sides. Jacob Rothschild had his son go. You have that amazing episode of your show, or your broadcast shift, where you broke down how his sons went out all over Europe, right, for their interests. Yep,
pretty much, and they just took control of the banking system, they're infamous. They're infamous. Yeah.
Sorts of fires and storms and floods and things going on. I mean, witch doctors 5,000 years ago would point at an eclipse or point at a wildfire or point at a snowstorm and say, you better bring better offerings to my tent or I'll make the Ooga Boogas get you. I mean, really, isn't this just a organizing system to bring in global taxation and regulations? What is your solution to the global warming? Is it not the global, is it not the global carbon tax, as Al Gore's called for?
Ooh, that sounds like a worse problem. Trying to find, bring up a tax for carbon. Don't we emit carbon naturally as humans when we exhale?
Yeah. He's disagreeing and attacking his mission. That's classic.
Yeah. And you're right. I love how you're breaking this down. Shadow Buddha with the comment, he said, this guy, and that's David the Rothschild, thinks climate change is the number one issue. In my opinion, inflation and poverty are the number one. As Tupac said, they got money for wars but can't feed the poor. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, climate issues, that's something to talk about and, strategize about. But come on, bro. People can't even get clean water even on Earth. Yeah. This guy, he has some type of agenda.
There's many things. I think what you have to realize is that being environmentally sensitive and making money aren't mutually exclusive. There's a lot of money to be made in addressing this issue. There's been a lot of waste in our systems. We built all our systems on a theory of infinite resources. We know for a fact we have finite resources. We know that we're consuming more than we're putting back. We know that our systems won't be able to support us if we continue to consume at this level. And you can say that things are cyclical, but and that we've we've seen these weather systems before. But, this is the fact of the matter is that our CO2 levels today are higher than any other time in the last 650,000 years. Our civilization is being built around a system of stable weather systems and weather patterns. Our weather patterns are changing as fast as we, or faster
What caused Pompeii, or what caused famous hurricanes?
Pompeii was a natural disaster, which was, of course it was. What do you think caused it?
But see, that's my point. Is that what caused the divine wind, the kamikaze that blew away the Chinese fleet that was coming into Japan?
But let me ask you a question, sir. What is the downside? Why don't you want to believe climate change exists?
Well, number one,
what's the downside?
I'd like to tell you. Number one, I read Professor Carroll Quigley. I've read United Nations documents. I've researched the.
Carroll Quigley is Bill Clinton's mentor. He taught him at Georgetown. He has that book, something in tragedy. Hope and Tragedy, I think it is, where he's literally breaking down the how these non-political groups, what they call them, like the there's an acronym for it. These organizations and committees and groups that actually make policy, but they're not involved in any government. NGOs,
yeah.
NGOs, yeah. That's what that book is about. Carroll Quigley, he literally was talking about, laying out how these people who aren't even involved in our elected officials are actually running policy and making laws for the majority of humans on Earth. So it's wild, man.
Council on Foreign Relations. I've researched the different think tanks and groups that your family funds, also the things that Prince Bernhard was pushing before he died. Now, of course, Prince Philip.
What's going on?
Life Fund, where they say they want to exterminate 80% of us, where they want to bring in neo-feudalism and serfdom as a model to manage the planet, and that human beings are a scourge. And I know that Malthus, back in the
human beings are a scourge. Well, this is what they think. What do you think about that, London?
I kind of agree with that. Not fully.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I can't argue with that one, really. Yeah. Yeah. With that said, though, should we eliminate all of them like some of these scenarios say?
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Oh.
That's like Austrian painter on steroids,
Yeah, well, the Rothschilds have been known to engage with that fellow, right? That Fuhrer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the bankers, yeah. I mean, and the Austrian painter, he tried to, in the beginning, he got them out of his country, kind of controlled the economy where there's no fucking interest in shit, which is kind of fascinating in a way. But now we have this whole capital system controlled by interest, which is just, you kind of see it's just leveraging the economy and deleveraging and causing people that sit on their ass to get wealthy while the others like us who work suffer,
Yeah.
1790s said, oh, wonderful, we're going to outstrip our resources and half the population will starve to death by 1950. This type of baloney, and it's always turned out to be a fraud. You try to organize society by claiming there's a crisis and that you're going to be the organizers. Then you invite all the business people in saying, this is the new model. Jump on the big bandwagon now. And you're not dealing with cross-species chimera genetic engineering, which can destroy your house. I know you don't care about the population, but you better care.
His house.
Care about your own house of Rothschild.
Meaning that all this genetic manipulations could even pollute their genes, their blue blood genes, huh? If they're not careful. He put a lot out there in that statement. He was talking about a lot of different things right there.
That's what Alex Jones does. He talks very, very quickly, and you're like, what the fuck is he rambling about?
Yeah, he's stream of consciousness. He's an Aquarius sun sign, and a lot of Aquarius are very good at just monologuing. I think Provo is Aquarius, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's like, think of a river and it's flowing. This is how their minds go, and they're able to just literally download in real time whatever they're trying to share with people. That's AJ for sure.
And I'm talking, and so what you do is you ignore all the real environmental crises, and then you bring in world government and world taxation, so you guys can even rule us with an even greater hand. And I'm sick of it. I'm not your slave, Rothschild,
Damn.
and your scam's not going to work.
Well, sir, I've never seen someone get so defensive. It's obviously, you know what they say, when you're in the wrong, you get all overheated, and I can see that with you now.
No, you asked.
That's not true, though. Always true.
You know what?
I mean, when you're in the wrong, that's because you get angry doesn't mean that you're wrong, right? If someone challenges you.
You know what?
What do you guys think?
This little back and forth that happened reminds me of something like Provo and Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. Is Jack the Rothschild?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Provo's more than Alex Jones, like trying to attack, like the Aquarius, the Prometheus, trying to poke at the king, the Rothschild right there, Jack.
My question.
Listen,
Debate any of my facts. Debate any of my facts.
If you carry on like that, sir, you're going to cause global warming yourself the way you're heating over there.
He got jokes. Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. You notice he's not. It's not even about a debate. It's more of like a popularity contest or steamrolling, right? Because he didn't even address all the things that Alex Jones say, who may be true, but he's like, "Fuck that! I'm not gonna. I'm running the show, right?" Basically,
He's not placating to Alex Jones's like fucking rambling, and just making fun of him. Well,
yeah, which is a dirty debating tactic, right?
Yeah.
Someone a joke.
If you can get your enemy flustered and you seem more cool and relaxed and you're kind of smiling, in the terms of optics of like viewers and a lot of people watching, you're winning. And it doesn't even have to be like what you're saying. Like, it's like if you got more people cheering on for you than the other, then it's like you win the game of perception. So
You have to think that speaking of resetting the topic of the episode, our broadcast, cult creation, right? This is definitely a skill that a cult leader or even a community leader, tribal leader have to be able to debate their philosophy of life, right?
I mean,
in these YouTube streets, you have to be able to.
I mean, look at a classic example of Andrew Wilson. He just makes
Papa Bear.
When he first did Gary V, and Andrew Wilson was going completely logical on his ass, saying numerology is this, it's bullshit, it's just blah blah blah. And from the
you mean Gary the numbers guy, not Gary V.
Yeah. Gary the numbers guy, and the Gary's the numbers guy always going to say, "Oh, you're going to get a divorce this year. Just watch."
I'm just dirty debating.
Yeah, and it's just it was very comical. It was like two cults like fighting the battle of like who's gonna win, and stuff.
Exactly.
And,
yeah, that's what it is. This is what this is turning into right here.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I'm angry.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is, you cannot deny that our species our biodiversity loss is global. We're losing rainforests at 100,000 acres a day. Our weather patterns.
Shout out to the Raging Patriot. He sees it.
The community is
1776.
unanimous. I don't know whether you're sitting on
Number one, they're not unanimous.
Listen, maybe your shares in the oil industry that you have in your back pocket there are helping to drive your radio station, and that's why you're a bit concerned about maybe your little taxation break.
No, it came out. Wait a minute. Queen
Have you got children?
Well, let me finish.
Have you got children? Have you got children?
All right, just hold on a second, Lord Rothschild.
No,
Let me just say
asking
something
Lord
here.
Rothschild.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm not a.
So
He's
what
a lord,
kind
right?
of planet? What kind
He's
of
not an
planet do you think
adventurer.
you're going to pass on to them?
Well, let me answer your question because you keep putting these questions out. I'm going to answer them right now. You bet I'm angry because I have.
You didn't answer the last
Let me
one.
finish.
The last one I asked you.
You didn't answer.
What is
I'm
the
going
downside
to
of
answer
believing
the
in climate
question.
change?
You didn't answer my question. You're using a lawyer tactic of asking a question and then not letting me answer it, implying that I didn't answer it.
Is that a lawyer tactic, Mike, in London and
A crooked lawyer, yeah.
a crooked lawyer?
crooked lawyer. There we go.
Yeah, Lord Rothschild right here.
I've been there.
You didn't
Have you
answer
ever
my
been outside-
questions about
Have you
your
ever been-
family and others
Your
bankrolling modern eugenics under
Oh,
the guise.
Dude, that's a big claim right there, no?
Yo,
Modern eugenics.
did he really just say that?
Yeah, he did to his face. I mean, on the phone anyway. But damn,
I'm telling you, it doesn't.
Modern eugenic.
It doesn't have to make logical. It just has to sound more like preposterous and like yelling and just like, you're not answering my fucking question, bitch.
Yeah, but he's right. I mean, I don't know from what I've researched and stuff, the Rothschilds do, and a couple other families, they do have a big hand in the modern day eugenics through Planned Parenthood, and even some of the way they do the mental health systems and sterilizing people they used to do, and all that type of stuff. You know.
Agree with that. Well, and another aspect what you got to look at is like sometimes when I listen to Alex Jones, he's more of like he comes off more of like a comedian type, and you know when they say comedians slip the truth in, but it's how they put it out there. It's comical.
It's a gesture, right, London?
Mm-hmm.
Like they used to tell the king like what the king needed to work on. They were the only ones allowed to give the king critique because it was done under the guise of comedy, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else would be killed for doing that, right?
Exactly. Ah, you said it. Said it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Eyes of of all these social Darwinism programs, are you denying it?
Yeah, of course I'm denying it.
Okay, so you're saying
last year.
I've got nothing to do with Prince Philip. The fact of the matter is, this has got nothing to do with climate change, sir. I'm coming on here to say I've been to these places. I've seen this stuff. I've spent over 200 days in the Arctic and Antarctica. Have you ever been outside of Texas?
Yes, I have been.
Where have you been?
I've been a lot of places. I know I don't have an education. I haven't traveled. I don't know anything.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just asking you.
No, that's the implication. Yes, I've been up to the. I haven't been across the. Let me finish. I haven't been across the Arctic Circle, but I've been up to it. Now, let me just ask you a question.
So you're telling me that the Inuit communities.
No, you asked me a question. Let me answer, Rothschild.
Okay, well, you answer then, sir.
Listen. Now, we all know last year that the media got caught, and National Geographic, the known propaganda channel, got caught, showing images of polar bears saying, look at them, they're stranded on ice. Polar bears can swim 200 miles. You and I both know that, but you know the dumb public that the globalists are always hoodwinking doesn't know that. And you've got new IMAX programs and new Disney programs coming up going, look at the drowning polar bears. They're all dying because the ice is melting. Everyone knows that the glaciers expand and contract and are collapsing continually.
Yeah, that's what I remember from my research, that the polar bears, for a land animal, they have the longest range, not only walking, but they, like you said, they can swim as well, you know? So those times that they were using those pictures, I remember seeing those of the scrawny polar bear trapped on the ice, you know what I'm saying?
I think even Attenborough covered a segment about that as well, actually.
Yes, he did.
But,
right.
The Raging Patriots comment is bloody fire.
Let's see.
He said, down to their frozen offspring.
Damn. He's a Rothschild and Rockefeller, Morgan and Chase and others who own banks run the world. Read it, London. You want?
Yeah. You want change? You take them out right down to their frozen offsprings. Woof.
God. Woof.
That's what we call outlaw.
Yeah, that's definitely the Raging Patriot. Yeah, shout out to him. And look at Shadow Buddha with the comment too. He says, "NPC, is that guy a rich hippie?" Basically, yeah, he is, right?
Pretty much
a rich hippie.
He's a spoiled brat. That's what he is. Mm-hmm. Most of them with the trust funds and all this shit. It's just he's comical.
Yeah, I ain't mad at him. I probably do the same thing.
Go ahead. There's your answer.
So what's your point? I think you still haven't even asked.
Yeah, my point is that you guys are setting up global taxation, as Al Gore has said. It has nothing to do with the environment. I am concerned about cross-species genetic engineering. I am concerned about destroying old-growth forest. I am worried about those type of things. But you guys are gobbling up all the world's concern to just simply line your pockets and make kids read your book in schools and do all this. It's a business, just like you said, Rothschild.
It's not. Do you think I make any money out of this?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing your your money changing ancestors did. They're in Germany.
Money changing. That's a dog whistle, huh? Oh, you know what he's talking about? Money changing ancestors.
Going back to the legacy, man. Attacking the money.
Shield, and I'm calling you out, Red Shield. We know it's a
Red
scam.
Shield. That's his name.
Okay, well, listen, the funny thing is, if you think it's a scam, I think, then what I want to know is, where are you going to live when this planet collapses? Where are you going to be? Next
We got
door
a
next to
break.
you?
I'm challenging you to hold over 3 minutes and to come back, and I'll answer the question about where I'm going to live and what I think about my family. Or are you afraid? Are you going to hang up, Red Shield? You going to stay with us, adventurer? You going to take this adventure challenge with me?
Crazy.
We'll see if you're there on the other side. I'm Alex Jones. We got a Red Shield on the line.
Yo.
Yeah. It's craziness, man.
Yeah.
Craziness.
You know, his intro back then was the Imperial March from Star Wars. Alex Jones all the time.
Yeah.
Is how this directly
your entire system stickers.
Yo,
I think when you say that it's all about tax,
NPC.
Because
I gotta head out, man. My sister just visited. I gotta head out.
All right, bro. All right, Shifty One.
Thanks
for
stream.
For blessing us. Thanks, bro.
It's been awesome. I feel bad, but family just came. It's just like,
that's all good. That's what's really going on.
Yeah.
We'll do the handoff. You're coming up. You're leaving, and then Uncle Fatty's taking the baton. What's going on, Uncle Fatty?
All right, Shifty.
Big up. Big up.
All right. Peace out, guys. It was a fire stream.
Shifty. Peace. Speaking of fire, look at that. Look at that background, Uncle Fatty. I haven't seen that one for you. Not bad. The Earth is on fire. Oh, with the climate change, I love it. Yeah.
Nice.
bro.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's up? What's the difference between climate? Welcome, Uncle Fatty. What's the difference between climate and weather? You're saying? Can you expand on that, please?
Weather is today.
Uh-huh.
Climate is taking all of those todays and looking at averages, looking at trends. I know everybody, at least in the U.S., kind of remember when we used to have snow around Thanksgiving, and now it's more closer to like after Christmas, maybe even closer to New Year's, and just that shift, could be considered natural climate change, right? It's just the natural evolution of how things will go, and then it gets colder over time as an average, and then it shifts back towards the Thanksgiving time. It's just to me, it's cognitive awareness. It's about realizing that we do individually affect everything around us, right? Everything we do, everyone we come into contact with, it's the butterfly effect, right? That as a way of individual healing and recovery, that cognitive awareness is key in realizing how we're triggered and how we react to things, and we're always in a state of reaction and not cognitive action, right? Where we're understanding things and taking that 3-second pause to then act as we think that we should, and not just reaction. Climate change to me is, we're kind of fooling ourselves if we think that we're not affecting things as we burn fuels and take minerals and using all of these resources. But, nature has a way of being kind of a fickle bitch and putting us in our spot, right?
You probably seen that on the mountains over the years, 100%. Right? I've seen it in the ocean. 100%. That's my spot, sacred space. Sure. But yeah, and what you're saying too is like, I do truly believe that like all of our actions, we do affect our environment, right? Even with the climate, for sure. Like you said, you can't help. Taiwan has the most scooters per capita in the world. That all this smog and pollution doesn't affect the Earth. Are you kidding me? Right? Of course it does, right? Now, with that said, I can still also see how there have been throughout time different times when there was more. We had a lot more heat, hotter. Temperatures consistently, or colder ice ages or whatnot, for sure. And I think there has to be, we have to look at this, like we're doing it holistically, man, because you're right, we do affect, it does affect,
Hey,
go ahead.
Can I put this out there? Do you reckon it goes both ways, or do you reckon our environment affects us also?
100%.
Yeah.
And
it's a feedback loop, right?
I think that's why most of manufacturing, most of the industrial revolution tends to go towards the countries that are just coming out of that third world thing, and that technology, that new revolution actually ends up hurting and killing the folks, which is why we have the EPA, which is why we don't manufacture in the United States anymore, because doing so, harvesting those elements, burning them, producing them, making them, is so detrimental to the folks that are in that job, that are doing that actual work, that it gets outsourced. And we've seen it go from, Japan to Taiwan. Right?
Taiwan for sure.
China,
Yes.
and it's the development that is the good thing. It's the manifestation of prosperation, but it's really detrimental to us, and that's why things like the EPA even come about. Is we realize that we're doing this. To me, this is a tobacco company analogy, right? The tobacco companies knew from the get-go, and I'm not saying making implementations, but the oil companies know that burning oil at the rate we're burning it, okay, we can see the CO2 fluctuations, okay? But when it goes like this, right, when we're starting to do this thing, that's where we see the climate change and not just the weather change, and we're affecting each other's weather right now. Over time, we'll affect each other's climate and mood. That's where the cult mentality comes in, right? Because we are scared creatures. That's what the cave is all about, right? The cave. We hear a rock fall at night, and what do we assume? It's a monster coming to kill us.
Yeah.
We are still weak, feeble creatures, and we are still in this, let's say there's millions of years of our development, and we're experiencing this much of it with all this technology and all these new things that we've never, as a species, our DNA is not used to it. Our natural patterns aren't used to it. It's a learning process, and we have a tendency to react with fear, right? And react from fear and with fear. And the oxytocin, the dopamine, the serotonin, right? That chemical cocktail can change a little bit, but what we see is love and hate are the same chemicals, right? Exaltment and fear, like fear and bliss, are the same brain chemicals, but the negative ones are easily triggered, right? And we get these cults from playing on each other's fears, playing on each other's desires to not die and be part of a group. But we've closed ourselves off in this individual way, specifically, I think, through a lot of the religions are playing on the faith that we have in each other, that we have in humanity, that we have in love. And, the double talk, the double speak, the hypno programming, right? The say it 3 times and they'll believe you. Sorry, say it 3 times, they'll hear you, right? Say it 30 times, they'll believe you. Say it 300 times, they'll fight for you. Say it 3,000 times, they'll die for you. That type of thinking, the apophenia, the desire to find patterns where there are none, right? The desire to seek out groups as we're so closed off individually that anything that anybody says sounds attracting because we just want to be a part of something.
Yeah.
When really it's just a cloud that's shaped like a dick and not a dick in the sky. Our brains have this tendency to create what we want to find. So
it helps us problem solve.
It's the conundrum of humanity, and being real deep into the Christianic texts and being ordained and really being a spiritual warrior for quite a few years. I really focused on this stuff that it's so easy for us to buy into things and to just close ourselves off from any other possibility. Right. And now if I'm studying religion, I want to study at least 2. I want to look at every point of view and every perspective, because perspective is what makes humanity great, is that we all have this different individual experience. And when we come to the table together like this, I hadn't thought about Hollow Moon for years, Brother London, and you've reinvigorated some of those thoughts in my process of questioning reality, because we trust implicitly, but we must verify, and we've forgotten the verification part. So.
Yeah,
I agree with
and
that.
this age of information era is really causing people to really speed up when they should slow down a little bit and ingest it, and marinate on it. Go ahead, London.
Now, I was just saying, I was actually looking at something to do with the moon earlier, but your hat just reminded me of what I was looking at, right? The Idaho. And Friday is going to be a deep topic, so you may want to even, come over. Are you from Idaho?
I'm up in North Idaho, and in Coeur d'Alene. I'm right next to Spokane, which is where Talcott hails from, and it's a very interesting part of the United States for sure.
Got you. Yeah. Gonna be lit Friday.
Yeah, we'll definitely check that out. My good neighbors, like London Man, on Friday, which would be is that Thursday morning for the wilderness of North America?
I think so. Well,
Okay.
late Thursday for them would be, I think.
Okay.
LA and
So
London are like 8 hours apart.
Yeah.
8 hour difference.
Yeah. Okay. Now, with that said, what you're bringing up, Uncle Fatty in London and Mike, it reminds me of this video I made where it shows this evolution of consciousness and how the wonder of exploring, what's really going on, as I say, can lead to to tribal bonds, as well as cult formations, as well as armies and mass destruction. Check this out. Tell me what you guys think. We made this video a couple years ago. Let me see. Here we go. man. And when I was making it, it put me. Yeah, I was crying. I was crying. I'm not afraid to admit I was crying a lot making
You
that
make
with
that
my
right around the
partner.
time your kids were born.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could tell, huh? Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Having just last week been able to hold both my grandbabies at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's right.
nice.
You're 2 times over now, Uncle Fatty, right?
Yeah,
In the
man,
span of
twice
a
in
couple months, right?
7 weeks apart. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
both
dope.
my daughters got some
Congratulations.
great husbands and got a great deal thing going on where they're at down in the college town they decided to stay and live in, and man, I mean, something about seeing the infant life, that can
Hmm.
draw us right back to our roots, so to say.
Yeah, yeah. It's like they were just on the other side not too long ago. So it's almost the way I see it. Like they're kind of like our elders, but we're here to guide them and take care of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and why would we not want to leave a better place? We're
Mm-hmm.
all about that's why this industrial stuff came about. We
Mm-hmm.
we we manifest the path of least resistance. We always want to find the path of least resistance. That's why in this drama game online,
Mm-hmm.
the easiest thing is usually what happened. It's usually not a conspiracy. It's usually not, because we just don't do that. We don't create harder situations for ourselves. And I see some of Alex Jones's stuff like just playing to the fear, even though there's really good information there, right? It's not about the information sometimes, it's about the game, and it's about the manipulation. We hate to admit when we're manipulated. We can blame others for manipulating us, but there's an inherent fault there that we allowed ourselves to be manipulated. And we lose track of these words and feelings with the sentiment of the entire kind of message. And industrial revolution comes because we're trying to make things easier for ourselves.
Right, right,
And in
right. We
doing
get
so, we're
away from
making
it.
it more difficult. Like the logging truck in your video, bro. We still got logging going on up here, but we don't build with what we're harvesting, right? We build
Mm-hmm.
with fur that's coming out of Canada, and the things that we're harvesting here, like the red furs and the white furs and the tamarack, gets cut up and sent to China.
Right. And who are the
And
biggest polluters in the world too? Right? Like the Raging
you know,
Patients, 76%.
and then we
Yeah.
ship it back here in the form of furniture, right? In the
Right.
form of product, manufactured product.
Mm-hmm.
So it's these cycles and systems of what's easiest, when we really, if we wanted to, we'd make it a little bit harder for ourselves to do it, in a more ethical way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a couple minutes. This is the last day of my boxing class for my son's boxing camp. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
take him. But I wanted to ask you though too, now that you're here, and Cecil, I see you in the back. I'm actually gonna shut down in a second, but I'll bring you up for a second. Uncle Fatty and everyone, Mike and London in the chat. Like, it's interesting that we're talking about how all that manufacturing, we outsourced it, right, as Americans, right, to other countries that you mentioned. Yet the big number one agenda in this new administration is, whether you like Trump or not, like it is bringing back the manufacturing jobs here, right, and also at the same time raising those tariffs. So the things that we want from other countries is going to be extremely high. Probably from the next 10 to 15 years, if that's really going to happen. And we're going to bring in the pollution. It's like there's no winning almost,
Some of it I can see possibly happening. I don't like the man himself, but there are policies that I definitely support. I own some silver mines up here. I've got some patented silver mine ground and some placer claims up north on the Moye River. And those regulations need to be reworked. They don't usually get reworked in a blue atmosphere.
Right.
And just the folks that are already willing to look at those things now 6 months ago, knowing that things were coming up for a change. Big things are happening. It'd be nice to get up there and clean up these old silver mines and be able to harvest things just off the ground that used to be considered low grade ore that is now medium to high grade ore. So we're doing a reclamation process and not actually mining, so to say. But there's things that, we get so factioned off. We get so stubborn in making sure the other team doesn't get a point that we're sacrificing actually good things, right? If we would just decide to collaborate, and when we come into these points and we label the other side as evil, as less than, we're not coming to the table in a good faith situation. I contend 100%. The day that Newt Gingrich stood on the floor and said, they are evil, we will make sure they get no wins, we will obstruct. That's the day that America became an argumentative fallacy. A bad faith situation, right? And not that either side is right and doing good, because straight up, I voted for Ross Perot every time, and I always will, because both sides are screwing us. But
exactly,
I think that, voting locally is what really matters. We've got to maintain our local city councils, our local tribes, because the overall system, everybody can agree, is corrupt as all hell.
It's so big it fails. I don't think the system was made to hold such a big capacity of people. So this is what we're seeing played out now. What's up, Seesaw's and going, man?
Lies to us, right? It's the big machine.
The machine does lie. Yeah, the machine does lie. Definitely. Shout out to happy birthday to the Raging Patriot, 1776. I didn't know it was your birthday. Happy birthday, bro. Happy Earth Cycle. May this be the best birthday of your life. And shout out to the Aquariuses and Capricorns.
They're in the grade of planets, even.
Respectfully.
Right. That's right. They're all lined up. I'm glad you're bringing that up yesterday, Uncle Fatty. What's up? What's up, Cecil?
I said my heart goes out to you. Okay.
Oh yeah. Are you talking about the earthquake? What are you talking about?
No, I'm not talking about the earthquake, bro. I was just talking about my feelings for once in public. But my heart goes out to you, dog.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Anything specifically? Thank you, bro. Yeah. All right.
Oh, there was an earthquake in Taiwan.
Yeah, let me show you this before we pimp off. This happened. We've had 6 huge earthquakes in the span of the last 48 hours. Here's a little context.
21st, 2025, a magnitude 6.4 earthquake. On January 21st, 2025, a magnitude 6.4 earthquake struck southern Taiwan.
I was on broadcast when this was happening.
At 12:17 a.m. local time, with its epicenter located approximately 12 kilometers north of Eugene.
It's my city.
At a depth of about 9.4 kilometers. This seismic event has led to significant impacts on local infrastructure, emergency response efforts, and community safety. In the immediate aftermath of the earthquake, local authorities mobilized emergency services to assess damage and initiate rescue operations. The Central Disaster Response Center was activated, overseen by President Tsai Ing-wen and Premier Chen Chien-yen, who directed relief efforts across the affected regions. The Ministry of National Defense deployed armed forces to assist in recovery operations, providing critical support to local governments in affected areas.
Nice Masonic banner.
Rescue teams have been actively engaged in searching for individuals trapped under debris. Reports indicate that 27 people sustained injuries, with several requiring immediate medical attention. Emergency medical...
Dude's house fell down in my neighborhood, and there was a family of 4 in there. Luckily, they got out. They had their baby, 1-month-old baby with them. So
services
Yeah.
have been deployed to treat the injured.
Yeah, so it's wild, man. Yeah, God bless us. Yes. And then we had back home in America, my home soil, California, they were dealing with the wildfire, the fires and stuff. And yeah, y'all need to stay, now you need to stay warm. It's really cold, right? A lot of these places right now. So, yeah, the earth is a very beautiful, dynamic. It's the equalizer, right?
Yeah,
I'll
we
let you
think
know
we got
who's in
control of
charge.
stuff. We don't got control of nothing, man. We'd be
Right.
wiped off this thing in less than a couple seconds if something happened.
Easily, yeah. But shout out to Rude Mud Crab in the house. What's going on there? Good to see you. The Bex, the lovely Bex, is in the house. The Unibrain. What's going on? The big brain there, Bex. Yeah, and the Vengeful. Yeah, hopefully your family is healing up there, Vengeful Truther. I know there's a lot of flu going around too. So, but on the good tip, I'm really happy for you, Uncle Fatty, that you're now not only were you a father before, a master, was just a master. Now you're a grandmaster, you're a grandfather. That's awesome, bro.
Pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's definitely some new perspective that I definitely needed and always welcome.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So so this has been the band. They banned Shift, right? Cold Creation, Moon and Scorpio, Alex Jones versus Rothschild, and we always, as we do, we can read your chart if you like. I really appreciate y'all coming up. You were my good neighbors. I had that theme, Mr. Rogers. That was the first cult I was ever in. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood cult, right?
Sesame Street.
Exactly. All that. And if you notice, my closing is Sesame Street Funky, the funky 1970, I think it's 1971 version. That's the beat that's playing when I'm showing my B-roll. That's actually Sesame Street, yeah. Because I think Mr. Rogers, for me personally, it did something. It imprinted on my brain how being a good human and wanting to hear people's story and then share my stories and ideas with you can lead to great things, right? And here we are now. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Shout out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the house.
Real.
Yeah. London Man, appreciate you, brother. Oh, yeah, London Man, do you have your thing? You have not your thing, your big broadcast, Moon Earth broadcast coming up, right? Thursday, Friday-ish, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then London Man, we still have I needed to call you on the thing on the back end. We have our Anatomy of the Eye, the art of seeing, that's coming up next week. Now, is there any particular time off top that's good for you for that?
But maybe basically when the children go to sleep, basically I'm free.
Okay.
That.
Okay, then let's do it then. I'll hit you on our studio. All right.
Most definite. Hey, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. Much love and take care.
Much love, man. Check this out, London. Check this this closing. Thank you, Uncle Fatty. Always a pleasure. You're a legend here. You don't know what you do. You're like our people said like Jock Cock the past. I think Uncle Fatty's another denomination, but truly a pastor and a man of good works over here in the Panelverse sector for sure.
Thank you for participating in my nightmare.
Yeah, that's what it is. The American nightmare, huh? American dreaming.
Or
shout out to
something.
Cecil always. Thanks for coming up. And the man with the golden voice. Yeah, I don't think that likely. Thank you, Caesar. Cecil, you said you share your love. We appreciate you. Yeah. And everyone in the chat, much love. You know, y'all killing it.
Hey,
let
me just say this. It's wild how we get labeled the pedos, right? While this clown sit next to a grown man who plays with puppets. You can't get more pedo than that, right?
You cannot get any more pedos than that. Where's my mods at, man?
My heart goes out to you.
Yeah. My heart goes out to you. Okay. Appreciate it. Kick the baby.
Silly, snappy little zebras.
Yeah, you should be worrying about that. What you call it? Uncontrollable patient. You got kicked out of the flow as a was was reviewing that, bro. You have other things on, sir. It's kind of hard to take you seriously when you can't even take care of yourself. With that said, let's do this. Look within. Peace, guys. Much love. We'll see you next time, probably tomorrow.
For sure.
Put on
NBC
a
Game
smile.
Live.
Give that shit away.
Exactly. Here we go. Here we start like this.